What this lecture is going to discuss is the roots of the women's liberation movement. Where does it come from? Why did some people believe it was necessary? And one of the major things we talk about, mainly in women in the mid to late 20th century, is how they participated in the war effort during World War II. And one of the things that a lot of people remember is that when a lot of men went off to fight in Europe or in Japan and parts of East Asia for World War II, that was fought on two fronts, women were encouraged to join the workforce in the more industrial forms of labor. So they were very active in what a lot of industries ended up doing, which was wartime conversion, which means factories like Henry Ford's factory or Ford at large started making tanks. Some factories started making planes. One of the main industries that women got involved in was shipbuilding. So battleships, they were building battleships. And some of the things that we remember figures like Rosie the Riveter here on the right, and she was propaganda for women to sort of start to join the war effort and to embrace those more masculine parts of themselves and believe that they too could do things like welding. So it's really interesting to kind of focus on that, but we're not going to spend a lot of time on that, unfortunately. The thing that I really want to focus on and how this mainly relates to the content for this week is you see this image here of a woman and she's welding at the top of the uh, slide here. She's welding. She is working in the Kaiser shipyards in Vanport, Oregon, and battleships are being built there. Women are building battleships. So everyone knows when the men come back from the war, they start going back to their old jobs, and the women are now encouraged to go back into the home, and their new job is please create a pleasing home environment for the men that are coming home. They have a lot of post-traumatic stress disorder, and it's believed that a solid, stable home environment is something that will reorient them back to society and make them, feel better and adjust back into American life. And that happens. However, one of the other things that happen is the image of women shifts from a woman who is very empowered, embraces these kind of masculine parts of ourselves, and it goes into something like this, which is the era of post-war advertising, where you start to see a lot of women in the home. So there is a slide deck for you to look at, and mainly you want to kind of look at how the images of women shift. The movement from someone who is encouraged to perform and perceived as capable of performing industrial labor to someone who can now not even open a ketchup bottle. So that is the contrast that I'm asking you to look at, is the shift in images from women who are empowered and strong, and this is the image the government is promoting, to this. That is your task. So there will be a slide deck at the bottom for you kind of to scroll through. I don't think it's a PowerPoint. I think it's a PDF. It looks like this. So that'll be in the files in titanium at the bottom. I think it's called 320 post-war ads. So check that out. That's going to give you kind of that contrast that you're looking for. So question you want to ask yourself when you're viewing these slides is, what is the image of women that is portrayed in the post-war era through advertisements?